Hey, welcome to the Art of Relationship Show, people. I am live. Yep, not recorded, no edits, as I usually do the show. I'm actually in my office. Sorry for being late. I was supposed to be live, like I mentioned, at 12 noon, and I actually ran over with a couple. So I apologize that, and I definitely appreciate all your patience, big time, okay? So, I was unable to do the show Wednesday night, so I thought I'd do a little impromptu show now. So, the Art of Relationship Show, I'm actually your host. I'm actually a fully licensed professional counselor, relationship, and sex specialist. I have been for, oh boy, over 2 decades now. Yeah, it'll be 22 years in August. I've been doing this professionally. So, I appreciate everybody tuning in, and the disclosure that, this does not replace actual professional counseling that I do in my office, actually right behind me, okay, with couples because of consent, that type of thing, consent, HIPAA laws, and everything else. But I'll do my best that I can answer your questions regarding dating, relationship, yes, sex, intimacy, marriage, those type of situations. Maybe people are going through, trying to work on uncoupling. And I do work with couples, unfortunately, before they seek help or me or anything. One, both decide they're done, they want a divorce, or they want to break up, and how to do it in an amicable way, and they reach out for help as well. So when it comes down to relationship aspects, you can ask any questions you want. I can help you the best I can with bona fide, legitimate answers to help you have that relationship that you've always craved, that you desired. Nothing's perfect. We know this, right? Excuse me. We know it's not perfect, but that it can be a lot more connected, that you're able to talk about anything. Those eggshells won't be there any longer, okay? You're not going to be walking on eggshells, broken glass, that type of situation. You're going to be able to talk about the tough stuff, plus also, maybe insecurities. Maybe you want to bring up something intimately, right? And to be able to look at, hey, I want to bring this up, intimate sex thing, whatever, and I'm afraid to. I'm embarrassed to. I'm afraid that I'm going to get judged. And I get that, okay? So it's looking at different situations, what works best for you. So throw your questions down below, people, right down below, and I'll do the best I can to answer them. When you look at avenues about what is happening, what's going on in your relationship in the real world out there, what comes to mind as troubling situations, right? A lot of people will talk about, and I posted it on social media before the show, excuse me, about looking at the inner child in us. Does the inner child in us, does it want to be loved, craved, appreciated, not judged, those type of situations? And what gets in the way allowing our inner child to come out, that we can live not being judged, right? Not being persecuted, if you will. And it's very, very difficult for people that have been through abuse, that have been through traumatic situations, and not everything is trauma. And I talked about this on a couple episodes ago too. Everything is not trauma like it's advertised out there in the world. Even in the mental health field that I'm in, a lot of people will look at, you got a hangnail, that's trauma. No, it isn't, okay? So you have to look at the bona fide legitimacy about what trauma is. But going back to the inner child doesn't want to be loved. And what are your insecurities? If you look down all the hurt, all the pain, the trauma, the devastation that we've endured, that you've endured throughout your life, what do you want, right? Do you want to be loved? Do you want to be accepted for who you are? Do you want to be appreciated? Do you want to be desired? Those type of situations. And you can please share on your timeline, your page about the show. I want to try to help as many people out there throw your questions out there, and I'll do the best that I can to answer them. And please follow me at Love Guru Greg on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, you name it. Okay. I'd be very flattered and humble as well. And my website is in the profile up above, or wherever, maybe it's down below, depending where you're watching or listening to, or theartofrelationships.org. Okay. So when you talk about that inner child that is going on inside of you, what do you see? You know, a lot of people will look at anger, right? Oh, they're just an angry person. But is it angry because they've learned to maybe not trust anybody? It's easier for them to get angry versus look at the hurt and the pain that goes on inside. And yes, this goes for men too, right? Men, I'm a man, heterosexual, cisgender man, I guess I identify as, that, you know, we have pain, we have hurt, and I deal with all kind of men, from professional athletes to people been locked up in prison to, you name it, you know, blue collar, I'm blue collar, all kind, right? So that we have a right to hurt and pain, but we're supposed to be brave, strong, take the hit all the time, never wavering, but we still have a right to hurt. We have a right to be disappointed. We have a right to feel loved. We also have a right to feel desired, appreciated, and that we're a priority. And listening to men over here, that inner boy, if you will, in us, and that inner girl, there's still that battle that goes on, and between, you know, men versus women, that type of situation. I don't want that. I want people, and I promote that people understand each other's pain. But we also know there are some assholes out there, men, women, let's be honest, that are out there. They're selfish, right? They're entitled. It's all about them. Maybe they have narcissistic tendencies to where it's all about them. They don't care if they hurt anybody. They'll play with whoever they want. Like a guy might be saying he's committed to 5 different women, right? He tells 5 different women, I'm committed to you, I'm exclusive, right? Or a woman doing the same thing that's messing with 3 other guys, telling them, you're my only boo, you're my only bae, right? And they're not. So I'm not about people going sideways. I'm not about people being dishonest and manipulating. And that's not that, inner child in you. A lot of people think it is. It might not have anything to do with that inner child. It has to do with maybe a person being selfish, about being entitled. It's all about them, and they don't care about the people they hurt. That's not a good person, okay? And we can look at, okay, even if it is that inner child underneath, that does not give you the right, or me the right, to hurt somebody else. Because I was hurt, okay, ripped apart, maybe cheated on, whatever. That doesn't give me the right to do that to somebody else, okay? We can understand it, and people try to justify it and condone it. Even people in this field will look at, well, yeah, it was trauma, that's why. And we can understand it, but that does not give a person the right to hurt somebody else. That doesn't give a person the right to cheat on somebody or to abuse them or treat them like shit, okay? Let's be honest. So I look at, what that inner child and within you, what would it take for you to be open and honest, but also, let's face it, to be smart. I tell people, I want people to trust with your eyes open. That trust and respect have to be earned. And part of that is being open and honest with each other and allowing that you're not going to be judged, that you're able to also not only be heard, are you able to hear your partner, your love's complaints, issues, what they have going on, without getting defensive, without going off rip, right? Oh, you don't feel respected. Well, I don't feel respected. And it goes sideways. Not at all. But we have to look at, what do we do to, even nurture? And I'll ask people, what would you tell your 12-year-old self or 11-year-old self, 9-year-old self, that type of situation that's going on, okay? So that's where I want an understanding to be able to look at what is happening, what is going on in a situation, okay? So that does not give people the right to hurt somebody else because our inner child was devastated, was hurt, injured, traumatized, right? So when you look at, are you able to say and trust your gut instincts when it comes into love, that type of situation, okay? Do you like punching? I'm not real, well, if you're talking sparring, MMA, hitting in Taekwondo and stuff, yeah, UFC. So, there we go. UFC, Austin. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's a sport, right? But I don't want that going on in couples relationships, right? I don't want abuse. I don't want that stuff going on in a relationship, you know, physical, verbal, emotional, mental, psychological, violence or abuse in a relationship. That's different. A sport, that type of situation. Yeah, absolutely. That's different. Okay. But you look at, in a relationship, you look at those type of situations about that inner child, and what part of that inner child is maybe, what's that craving inside of you? What are you needing to be able to heal that you're able to look at that I deserve love, and because I'm hurting, because I went through this, I'm not going to allow someone to treat me like crap. I'm not going to allow someone to abuse me. I'm not going to allow someone to continuously cheat on me, right? And be with that person. And it's very, very difficult for a lot of people. The inner child just craves that love, right? We want that affection. We want the admiration. We want to have a voice. Now I'm an adult. Now I'm able to have my voice and I want to be heard. And I'm going to tell you what I have to say, right? But don't forget, your person, other people also want to be heard. It's got to be mutual. It's got to be that ebb and flow, right? It's got to be that give and take to have that true, healthy, happy relationship that you're looking for. And when you look at that, I ask people all the time, when it comes to a happy, healthy relationship, what does that look like? Okay, to you, not to me. I mean, oh, you're the professional, Greg. You should deem what is healthy and happy, right? I know what it is for me. However, everybody's different, right? There's different lifestyles, different values, beliefs, different appetites when it comes into intimacy, right? Fetishes, that type of situation. Or some people want kids, some people don't. So you get to deem what your life looks like, but also you also want to look at how are you affecting other people. Hey, Callie, I appreciate you joining in. Just Sam, Raven, appreciate you. So throw your questions down below, people. TikTok, there you on my phone. Sorry. Throw your questions out there. Like I said, I'm doing hey, Jenny, what's going on? I'm doing an impromptu episode of the Art of Relationship shows. I was not able to do that Wednesday night. So I'm throwing this out there. Hey, what's up? So I want people to be able to look at and throw your questions out there. What are you challenged with when it comes down to maybe self-love, self-respect? What allows you, or that is maybe, you know, that inner child is still being crushed. Maybe that inner child doesn't have a voice, and you still portray that in your adulthood, that you portray that in your life now, that you're afraid to speak up. You're afraid to be open and honest within yourself because you might hurt somebody's feelings, that you might, piss somebody off. You might cause an argument. And there are definite ways to be able to go after that, right? There's different ways to be able to approach it, to go to that person versus the attack, right? Attack aspect. To be able to look at, hey, I don't feel this way and I'm going to have a voice. Or, you know what, like when I was a kid, you know, we didn't have a voice. It didn't matter what we felt, most of us, right? Or a lot of us. Didn't matter how things affected us. You're just supposed to do it. You're supposed to do that. Forget about how you feel. Just suck it up type of thing, right? And we carry that over into adulthood. Not all of us, right? A lot of us do, but we can have a voice in a healthy way. And I'm not one that, our adulthood and how we act and behave is all based on childhood. No, it is not. Some people it is. Some people it's not. Hey, Derek, man, what's happening, man? So this is a situation where a lot of people look at, oh, I'm the way we are, and it's all based on how I was raised. No, it isn't, okay? Maybe a part of it. Hey, Derek. Maybe a part of it, absolutely. I'm not going to discredit that. But we also have to look at genetic aspects. We have to look at, genetics, biology aspects. We have to look at other experiences that we have outside of how we're raised. It could be school experiences. Maybe if we played a sport or an activity, we're in band, we're in art class, whatever it is. We have to, all those shape us who we are now, not just how we're raised. So there's a lot of people out there that look at that, and we look at, okay, how am I raised? We get all that. I was raised this way. Maybe that's how I turned out. That's why I have these issues now. We can understand that. Maybe it has nothing to do with that. But what do we do to change that now? And again, that does not mean, you know what? Why am I treating other people bad? Why am I being mean to them? Why am I using other people? Is it because of inner childhood hurt, trauma? Maybe not, right? Like I said, some people out there are just a-holes. They're just selfish, and maybe they were raised getting whatever they want. So they go into adulthood never expecting anyone to say no. And if they say no, they treat them like crap. They diss them. You understand? No. So it's about looking at self-love and self-respect when it comes into an aspect about how you want to be, how you want your relationship to be, or if people out there single, whatever, right? That what are you looking for in another relationship? Most people, not all, deep down, we want to feel loved. We want to feel appreciated, accepted, desired, right? We want to be made to feel important by that person, right? So what are we doing to allow that person to love us? What are we doing to allow that person to trust us? What are we doing to allow that person to make us a priority, to desire us? Sometimes we shut down, right? Because we want those things, but we don't trust it. So we block it, right? We pretend we really don't want that love, or the opposite, right? We want that love so much, we'll do anything to get it, which means we sell out who we are. We allow ourselves to be abused, treated like crap, cheated on consistently. You get me? That's not love. There's a big difference between those elements, right? So if somebody that you're with, that they don't care, that they make you unhappy, that you're miserable being with them, that they don't care about that, my question is, why are you with them? Okay? I'm blunt. But I'm going to ask, not bashing, not blaming. I'm going to ask, why are you with them? Is it because you're afraid to be alone? That you feel like deep down, whatever reason, that you're getting love, but really it's all on their terms. Hey, Jason, what's going on, man? So we have to look at, what are we allowing in our relationship and why? Not judging. I don't do that. I ask people all the time, what's causing you to stay in this? Why are you staying in this relationship or marriage? And again, it's not a judgment. It's not derogatory. It's not criticizing people. That's not me at all. I ask that question out of curiosity, out of concern, out of compassion. Why are you in this? I have kids. I can't afford. I get all this stuff, right? And that might be legit. But I'm looking at what happens if you start having a voice. What happens if you start putting your foot down, right? Maybe that other person might not like that. They might get more abusive, right? It's scary, but I'm a realist. So it's looking at what do you do to promote self-love and self-respect, and what allows you to be treated a certain way. Is it based on, like I said at the beginning, that inner child in us that, wants to be loved and wants to be just accepted, right? But there's also people that have that inner child that have no accountability, no responsibility, right? They don't ever do anything wrong. That's not healthy either, right? So when you look at that, what allows you to do that? And sometimes that inner child in us, right? We don't ever want to feel that way, so we go to the other extreme, right? We're cold. We become maybe heartless. We become mean. We become just, we ridicule, we demean people, we degrade people because of what we went through, right? I understand that. That doesn't make it right. But then why would someone want to be with you, which is part of the angst, right? Because that way it keeps everybody away from you. So you don't get hurt. You don't get crushed again. You don't get cheated on, right? I get it. I tell people, you've heard me before. I'm a realist. I go after the real stuff, not stuff that's, blown up your booties by other people in this field. I'm different, okay? I want to be honest. I want to be legit. I want to be able to help you. And I am blunt at times, but always coming from a place of compassion, of wanting to understand and wanting to help people. That's legit, okay? So when you look at those situations, how do you want to be and what is getting in the way? Or some people, right, they don't get their way. And all of a sudden, I'm abused, Greg. He abuses me. He disrespects me. I'm like, how, may I ask, what happened? How did he disrespect you? He didn't buy me the purse I wanted. He didn't buy me the shoes I wanted. These are true stories, people. And I'm like, what? No, that does not mean you were disrespected. Because you did not get your way once in a while does not mean you were abused. Does not mean you were disrespected. And that's where a lot of people will look at if they don't get their way, because the way society is, and I'll blame it even on the mental health field, which I'm a part of, right? Which I don't get into at all, where, everything's abuse. Everything's trauma, right? Everything's disrespect if you don't get your way. No. And that's part of the problem with the society of the younger generation too, right? That everything, because you did not get your way, you were told no, you failed a test because you didn't study, because you deserve an A, even though you didn't study, didn't pay attention in class, right? Didn't open any books, materials, anything like that. And then you want your mom to go out and bash your teacher for giving you an E, which you earned, you deserved, right? We need to get away from that. So there's people in this area that the mom, dad, whatever, they always had their back and never had those kids, you as an adult now, never had accountability for anything because you didn't do anything wrong. That's unrealistic and it's unnatural. We all do things wrong, me included, right? So there's some people out there, I've been abused because I did not get the ring I wanted. Like I said, the purse, the shoes. Guys out there, she didn't let me get the motorcycle I wanted. I'm abused. I'm traumatized. I'm like, what? No. So we have to look at, like I said, I'm legit, I'm real, I'm genuine. And a lot of people don't like that because they like things sugar-coated. They like things that, let's face it, we all want to be told what we want to hear, right? That's not real life. And that creates a huge, dangerous aspect out there when we carry that into a relationship and you have two people, right? They both are entitled. They both want their own way. We all do. But if they ever don't get their way, they feel traumatized. They feel disrespected, abused. Not at all. It just means you did not get your way, okay? Hey, I appreciate that, Derek. I definitely like your approach better. Thank you. And Derek knows, other people know I do this. And like I said, in my office right behind me here, well, behind me, I'm in my office, right? But I see couples, clients right behind me. They know I can be blunt, I'm direct, but people know I do this because I actually care. I want people to promote self love and self respect. I want relationships and marriage to have an ebb and flow, that both people feel loved, both people feel appreciated, that both people feel desired, a priority, right? Is it going to be perfect all the time? No, not at all. But I actually care and give a shit about people's well being, okay? I promote self love and self respect, but that also doesn't mean that you are entitled or that you're selfish and that you're entitled to get your way all the time. That's unrealistic. Does it come from childhood stuff? Maybe, maybe not. The issue is, what do we do about it now, right? Not to discredit actual realistic trauma, abuse, neglect, all those things, okay? And I got all kind of horror stories I've worked with over the years that I can share, but how does that, affect you now? What can we do to heal it? But again, that does not give people the right to treat others like crap. That does not give others the right to belittle, degrade others because you didn't get your way or whatever, okay? So, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Woohoo! Again, this is the Art of Relationship show. Check in the profile above, people. The Art of Relationships.org is my website, and I usually do the show live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. I was unable to do the show live this Wednesday. My schedule ran over. So that's why I'm sort of doing the show now, okay? So I appreciate it. Much love, and I appreciate you joining in and watching big time, because I know, like I say this all the time, but I mean it. Your time is valuable, and I never disrespect that, and I'm very flattered. I appreciate that for you watching in, okay? So usually the Art of Relationship show, check it out every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, okay? Peace and love to everybody out there. Be safe. Let's keep being nice to other people, or at least trying to, but also command and respect when people are not nice to us, okay? Peace and love. Take care. Bye-bye.